What is up, guys? This is Olympio coming to you with a card discussion today about one of the new spell cards that's been announced for Crossover Souls, and that is a Galaxy Cyclone. Now, this card has been absolutely everywhere recently because everyone's been talking about it, and for good reason. The card effect reads: target one set spell or trap card on the field, destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one face up spell or trap card on the field, destroy it. You can only activate the effect of Galaxy Cyclone once per turn. So we have a brand new back row destruction card in a spell form. This card is quite interesting, and the one thing that a lot of people have been doing is comparing this card to Nightbeam and also comparing it to MST. I'm not going to do that because the problem I have with those comparisons are these three cards do different things. Going over it very quickly, MST is a quick play spell card that hits any form of back row. So that is useful because you can set it in your turn and other things like that. It's a good card and it's a staple. Nightbeam is one of these cards that a lot of decks that kind of OTK maybe or something like that will use because it means your opponent can't respond with the targeted cards to the Nightbeam's activation. Yes, we all know that they can activate another card in response and then chain the targeted cards if it's not chain linked to. So for example, I activate Nightbeam on a set, let's say Vanities. Opponent will chain saying activate MST on my card and then they activate Vanities. Stupid example, but it's an example nonetheless to explain. Galaxy Cyclone is a card that really has a perfect fit in decks that mill. We look at Infernities, we look at Burning Abyss, we look at anything like that. Decks that utilize their graveyard that will mill really can use this card. I think this card is a great card. It's not going to replace anything in my opinion. I think that if some decks really do rely on milling to the point where they've sometimes maybe struggled to put MST in, this will be a nice replacement. And I know that I might have just contradicted myself in the fact that I said that this card isn't going to replace anything. But in the vast majority of the decks that we have out there, it's not going to replace MST. And there's a reason, because as I said, this card doesn't do what those cards do. Promise I'm not trying to compare them. Galaxy Cyclone is a different entity to these cards. They fit, as I said, in a mill deck, and it's where it's basically going to stay in my opinion, because I don't feel that it's actually good enough to be one of the cards that everyone will main deck 3 of, like MST or like Nightbeam in those decks. It's a different type of card for those different types of decks. And I think it is, overall, a pretty good card, but only in those decks that really utilize it. We look at the first effect. It says target one set spell or trap. Automatically, if you're just running a normal deck, you are restricted because you have to do a set card. If your opponent, for example, only has a face-up card, you know, or they activate it in response, you're not destroying the face-down card. If you have MST, for example, regardless, you're going to destroy it. Overall, it's good. It's a solid card, but it's nothing that's amazing, and nothing that people say is as amazing as they're making it out to be. It's probably going to be a secret in Crossover Souls, let's face it, but hey-ho. So I want you guys to let me know what you think of Galaxy Cyclone. Do you think it's going to be a card that you will utilize a lot? Or do you think it's just something that if you're running a mill-based deck that you'll throw it in at copy at 3 because that's where it truly lies, in my opinion. So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.